Hey, happy holidays from all of us at Soccer Talk with the Soul, brought to you as always by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. I'm Sebastian Noel in for Adam Deal, and I'm joined by Ron Patel and Larry Espinosa. And let's just clear the air right off the bat, right? We have some breaking news. There was some trouble in the soccer scene last night. Someone
in the Albuquerque
someone got in some trouble there on the end.
Larry,
so
what
why don't
happened?
you give us the details of that?
Larry, what happened?
You know what? We don't need to talk about this. Let's move on to the next segment.
So Larry and I play on different indoor teams at International Indoor. And the first time we played, I told him I was going to score a hat trick, and he was so scared he didn't even show up for the match. And I scored a hat trick like I said I would. So the rematch was last night, and I told him again I was going to score another hat trick on him. And he actually showed up this time, which was very nice of him to do. And I did score within, I think, the third, fourth minute that I was on the pitch. And I walked past him and gave him my one, and then I scored my second goal and gave him my two.
Talk about your second goal, though.
We
let's talk about your second goal.
So,
how it bounces off your shin and rolls in, because he's a poacher.
And I didn't even take the time. I've been a goalie and a defender my whole life, so I've never got the chance to poach. They've always poached on me. So the second goal actually comes down. I'm just standing, luckily, in the right place at the right time, or strategically.
In Germany, we call that a Thomas Müller.
There we go. Yes, and it just bounced off, and I didn't even bother to do a follow through. It just bounced off my left shin, which I'm a lefty, and it went in and I just jogged back, and I looked at Larry and went two. But Sebastian, I would have completed my hat trick if we had finished the game.
Right.
And Larry, why did we not finish the game?
Right, Soul fans.
Why did we not finish the game?
Okay, so our team got a red card. Very deserved red card on the first one. Guy was a little bit out of control. Got a little mouthy with the ref. Hey, fine. My team's been playing together for a long time. We can handle 4 players.
Like 40, 50 years they've been playing together.
So there was another hard tackle. There was a hard tackle that happened in the first half that wasn't a foul. Ref didn't give us a 2-minute warning. He went straight to a yellow. So we're sitting, for 4 minutes playing 4 men. Had no problem. They didn't score. Everything was fine. Get into another tackle. He and another player, they both get into it. They're not physically. They're both tackling. It's fair play. They both fall over. The next thing I know, the ref blows the whistle and calls a foul on our guy, and issues him a blue card, and then turns around and issues him a red card. Well, I merely asked, what was the call?
Well, you seem to be reliving this with all the anger and vigor of last night.
Right.
Continue.
Sebastian, here's the thing. Right is right. No matter which way what language, what country you're from, the right call's the right call. And
what kind of language were you using last night? I'm just curious.
At first, I was very calm, and I asked, what's the call? He said persistent infringement. First of all, it was a tackle, so there was no infringement going on. Secondly, persistent means time after time after time. He had 2 tackles all game.
So, in summary, Larry got a red card too. So their team was down to 3 in an indoor game. And the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, we got the sirens.
There's the sirens for the red card.
We would have been down to 2.
I wish we had the prison bar. That you would have been down to 2. And so bottom line is they decided that they didn't want to play anymore and left the field. And I was more upset than Larry then because I didn't get to complete my hat trick as I had promised young Lyncher here that I would do.
Soul fans, who here can tell me, yes or no, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while? That is Ron Patel in front of the goal. He closes his eyes and swings, and next thing you know, it's in the goal.
I'm sure we've got more important things to talk about today.
Right. I think we got some scarf mania to talk about, right? We're wearing our scarves today. You have your Liverpool one. I have my Bayern Munich scarf. And talk about just how this scarf, why we're wearing scarves. There's a young lady that designed the new scarf. That's kind of why we're all wearing ours. And just talk about the history of the Soul scarf for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so for those of you who don't know, and Larry and I talk about this all the time, is scarves actually started when the game was invented in England in the 1800s, and fans would wear their scarves to the games, and the teams caught on and said, let's put the team name on, and fans will buy it, because they're wearing them anyways.
Why are they wearing scarves in England during the season?
It's freezing.
Exactly.
It's freezing cold. It's damp. It's cold. Our resident expert, Dan Lodge, will talk about it in the next segment. All these games are freezing cold, so they're wearing scarves. So I said to Larry, we started the team, I said, we should do a Soul scarf. And he says, are you crazy? It's 100 degrees outside. Why would people wear a scarf? And we explained, look, it's a soccer thing. A scarf, it shows that you get it. It shows that you're a fan of the team. It shows that you understand soccer culture. So we did it the first scarf. We were so excited. We just bought our franchise, right? We'd spent a lot of money in the franchise. We'd spent a lot of money starting the business. We were trying to figure out, okay, well, we got to start bringing money in now. We still hadn't played a game. It was still months and months before our first game. So we said, all right, let's see what we can do. So we put up we ordered the scarf. We put up a pre-sale to see how many people would order it before it came in, which is actually what we're doing right now with the new one. And we actually had 42 people pre-buy the scarf that first time.
We didn't even have a team yet. That was the cool thing.
Yeah, that was the cool thing. And the scarves come in. We'd spent a lot of money on them. We said, okay, let's start shipping this. I'm literally putting the first scarf in the envelope. And I looked at Larry and I said, not in these words. I said, oh, crap. And he's like, what? I said, we forgot to charge for shipping. And I'm like, that would eat up all of the profit margin that was in there. We'd actually lose money from selling these scarves. And we tried to scramble, what could we do, what could we do? So we said, what does Albuquerque Magazine do when they have a new issue? They do a release party. So we did a scarf release party. And our hope was of the 43 people that bought scarves, that half of them would show up to the party and pick them up so we didn't have to pay for shipping and we wouldn't lose money. So we put the party out there. We put an email out to the people that we had email addresses for, which was not very many. We put a social media event out and said, hopefully 20 people show up.
Yeah.
Well, 10 times that showed up. 200 people showed up for this
Wow.
party. People started buying the remaining scarves left and right. We've got 42 of these scarves that have already been sold, sitting in this booth with post-it notes with people's names on it. And I looked at Larry, and he looked at me. We were sold out, and people still wanted to buy. They were buying 2, 3 at a time.
Well, this would explain why director Jason Pohl and I didn't receive one.
That must be it.
Because they were so popular.
Exactly.
Right.
So I look at Larry, and he looks at me, and we kind of do like all right. We start pulling the post-it notes off, and then Larry called all the people that didn't come to pick up their scarves the next day and said, great news, we have a free T-shirt for you, but you'll get that in a couple weeks when your scarf comes in because we had to reorder some addition. And that's how the scarf started. And so we said to people, when you travel, and again, keep in mind, we just started the team. This was like a dream come true for both of us. Yeah. We'd had a couple drinks at the party, and we said, let's have some fun with this. So we got up on the microphone, and we said, when you travel, take your scarf with you, put it on social media, and put a hashtag of soul sighting.
And that's how soul sightings were born,
It was
right?
a joke. I didn't think anyone would do it. So that was a Thursday night at 8 p.m. And if you see on the screen right now, less than 12 hours later, that picture comes in from Madison Square Garden in New York City. And the guy was on the JetBlue red eye to New York City that night and took his scarf, followed our direction, went straight to Madison Square Garden, and did the first soul sighting. And that's how it was born.
Yeah.
So since then, we've gotten them from all over the world. I think Jason's got a couple more here we can show us. That's at the World Cup, is that?
That is the World Cup.
Greg Webb in Brazil. And then that's Mayor Barry and the mayor of Sacramento, Kevin Johnson, who is more famously known for his time with the Phoenix Suns as the point guard in the 1990s.
Well, he's been in the news for some other famous things lately, but
Of course, but I lived in Phoenix in the 90s, so that's how I remember him. But he's now pushing real hard for an MLS team in Sacramento, and they're building a new stadium down in downtown Sacramento. So
You know what? The interesting thing, Sebastian, is what we failed to realize is that we didn't take into account the pride that New Mexicans have for their colors and for the Zia, and so it becomes a very cool thing for people to do and take with them when they go. Because you've argued with someone that's not from New Mexico about why New Mexico is a cool place.
and we're in the United States, not in Mexico.
Right, and yeah, and we argue that fact as well.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting, and we didn't take into account, the colors, and that's really what we believe that why people enjoy taking them, and now it's caught on, and we have people coming to our office as they're headed to the airport to buy scarves.
To buy a scarf and take it so they can do a soul sighting. So we put out a contest to our fans and said, hey, for the next one, since this is the most popular thing that the fans love, why not let the fans design it? So we put it out there. We got lots of cool different entries, and in the next couple shows, we'll bring on some of the entries of the ones that came in and finished second and third place and everything. But we have a special guest with us today who designed this scarf, which if Jason can pull it up for us, please, that designed this. So Larry, why don't you talk a little bit about this?
It was very interesting to watch the evolution take place, because Berenise she refined it a couple of different times, but she kind of went back to all the traditional style of traditional colors of New Mexico. We've seen it with UNM lately. They've brought on a lot of turquoise, and so we're really excited this. And all the comments that we've gotten so far have been absolutely just huge. So
Well, people in New Mexico, they love their turquoise, right? So that's almost an essential kind of characteristic of anything you're trying to put out these days is do you have a hint of turquoise in there, right?
we don't have a hint.
Right. We're
Full
went past
blown,
the hint, right?
which is awesome, and it's eye catching. It's so clean and just very fun is what it is.
So Berenise Miramontes joins us on set now, and we're very happy to have you. So yeah, this is a cool scarf. Now I hope Ron doesn't get cheap again and doesn't give me one, but we'll see. I will let you know.
Wait, there's a story behind that though.
Okay.
Because we've given Adam Deal multiple scarves to give to you guys, so we think that maybe
That I
he passes
believe.
them on to his kids,
That-
and you guys don't get them. So Jay, Sebastian, we'll bring them directly to you.
That
next
I
time,
believe. So anyway, let's go through this. Let's go through this creative process.
Okay.
So take us first. Okay, you hear that they're taking submissions, right?
Yeah.
So what goes through your mind at that point?
Well, initially, because I've always wanted to do graphic design as a career, but being an engineer student, I went for mathematics instead, and so now I have my degree for that. But I did graphic design as a hobby, and every time I saw an opportunity, then I just went for it. And so I saw this, and I moved to Albuquerque 2 years ago. And I had no idea that, we had a, professional developing team, if that's what you
Right,
call it.
right.
But, and so then I met people who, because I really wanted to keep playing soccer, because I got recruited to play soccer for college in Texas. But then I came back to New Mexico, and my friends the people that I met that I played soccer with, they took me to all these games, for Albuquerque, and it was fun, like, not that expensive to go to,
Right,
and it's,
right.
it's pretty neat to see all these, like, people coming to watch these games. And so then I saw this, and I was like, well, this will be pretty fun, and I did it, and I did it for fun, I guess, is
So
what I
how,
want to say.
How quickly from day one, you saw that they're taking submissions. How quickly did you have something, I guess, turned around? How quickly did you have an idea in your mind? When did you take it to paper? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so initially, I've seen all the scarves, the 2 different ones that you guys had, and I was like, okay, I love the yellow and the red. And so my first design, I did it with yellow and red, and I knew that I wanted to put the mountains in the background. And I wanted to put Albuquerque Soul FC instead of it just saying Albuquerque, because I feel like Albuquerque Soul FC will have a more impact of, like branding Albuquerque to have a soccer team, like known for that.
Right.
And so I did that, and so then I know that a lot of people here are really obsessed with the Centennial license plates. And I used to work at a winery, and we had a wine bottle that, has the Centennial license plate on it, because people love the turquoise and they'll love the red. And so then I changed the color back to turquoise, and I did the red, and I really wanted to put the mountains on the back, because Albuquerque is really known for, the sandia and the tramway and all that stuff.
So this incarnation that we saw on the screen, would you say was draft number what? How many crumpled up sheets of paper did you go through? What incarnation did we just see on the screen there?
It
How
was
many hours
like-
of love went into that?
It was like number 23.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because I enjoy it. Like I love tinkering, and I'm very picky when it comes to designing. So I was just like, this has to be like perfect. Like even if I didn't win, like I just wanted it to look good. And I was surprised whenever I got an email from Ron and was like, we had really good entries, but yours like stood out. And I was just like, what?
And then Larry, what was your impression when you and Ron pulled it up on your computer and you saw it?
It was awesome right off the bat. We were like, wow. And then she sent a couple more, and it kept getting better and better. And finally, it came to the point where we had to take them all into account and make a decision. And it was pretty unanimous right off the bat, where there was some really good talent, and then there was this one. So we were really excited. So
And then to bring it full circle back to the Soul sightings, how exciting is it, just real quick, that you just saw where all the other scarves were, to see your work possibly be shown at Madison Square Garden, St.
Yeah.
Andrews,
Yeah.
beautiful Pauley Pavilion, home of the UCLA Bruins, somewhere like that. Where, how cool is that?
It's unreal, honestly. Like, I'm just like nervous even thinking about it. I'm pretty happy, and this is an unreal experience. Like,
All right. Well, I know we're all here at the office. We're all looking forward to getting ours.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us.
yes.
And we'll be back with the second segment. You're watching New Mexico Soccer Talk with the Soul here, brought to you by New Mexico Pinon Coffee.